What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're talking about topwaters, some really good new ones and some of my old favorites. Let's talk about them right now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. This channel is all about baits, bass fishing, trends in the industry, and right now it's topwater time for me, at least. You know, it's post-spawn. I'm really excited to get out there and throw topwaters. Got a bunch rigged up, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites. You know, both old and new, maybe something you've never heard of, but that's what I'm doing right now, is going through my topwaters. I have a few different boxes of topwaters, but I like to condense them into one for the trip, for the season, the type of lake that I'm going to, things like that. I just don't want to bring all of them at once. It's just kind of overkill. So I downsize them in one box. There's some that stay in there all year, and then there's some kind of sneaky seasonal favorites that I like right now. So before we get started, I'm going to show you my topwater setup that I have rigged up right now. This is a Lucky Craft Sammy. So if you notice on the front of it, there are 3 bobber stops. And the reason I wanted to show this is I did a video on monofilament. Is it dead in bass fishing? And people were talking about using braid with a fluorocarbon leader, a short leader for topwater so the hooks don't get tangled. I used to do that, but now I found a much better solution. Just throw a couple of those bobber stops in front, and that limp braid is not going to wrap around that front treble. So you can walk a bait as hard as you want and not have that issue. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, than having that leader. You don't have to deal with an extra knot. It's just totally simple, totally easy. It works. Now, I like 40-pound braided line. This is Seaguar Tactics braid. It's a little bit rougher braid. I like it over the Smackdown. It seems to cast really well for baits like this, so I really like it for topwaters. 40-pound is really kind of my all-around topwater setup. This is a brand new rod I haven't used yet. It's a TFO Resolve series. Also did a video on these rods. I'm gonna actually get them out there and test them. This one's a medium heavy. I got a great tip for walking a topwater, and got that on a Shimano Bantam 7.1. So that's my setup. Now let's get into some of the other baits that I have. Some kind of sneaky ones, some of my old favorites, and we'll just talk about them. It's topwater time. So one that never leaves my box is the old school Paycheck Baits Repo Man. This is just like the Vixen. If you know anything about these baits, these are really sought after. You know, you can get the Teckle version now, but the original Vixen and then the second version, the Paycheck Baits like here, these are very, very expensive. I mean, I could sell this for probably 60 bucks on eBay, even with the condition that it's at. It's a very good topwater that really changed fishing. There's a lot of similar baits on the market now, but this thing never leaves my box. I love this thing. You can see I've caught a couple fish on it. We also got the Sammy. You know, I have one rigged up, but this is another one that's caught quite a bit of fish. The Sammy is a great walking topwater bait. Really can't go wrong with any size Sammy. They're really good, proven bait. I mean, there's no secret there. I also got some old school baits that they still make it, but the original version that I like is the Spit and Image. This is the old Bill Dance Excalibur one. I found these at a garage sale, and I really just kind of fell in love with this bait. I had these back in the day, but all the baits I had, you know, got a lot of heat on them, so they expanded, but I found some more, and they work really well. They have a great subtle action walking topwater bait. It's great when the fish are schooling, but it's also good this time of year, you know, kind of that early topwater season when the fish aren't super aggressive, you know, the post spawn. So I will definitely be using this, especially around the shad spawn as well. One more that, or actually 2 more that I always have in the boat. These are old school as well. You got the old school Popar and then the rattling chug bug. I really like these. The chug bug obviously is a lot bigger, a lot more aggressive action. But yeah, it's a cool bait. This is actually when I was using pre-fish. You can see the hooks are cut off. Yeah, and it's funny when you do that in a pre-fishing for tournament, you cut the hooks off, you get the most explosive strikes, and those fish will not let go of the bait. You know, of course, practice situation, but got to put some new hooks on that and get it back out there. Okay, so now we'll get into some other baits. There's 6 different topwater baits that I think are kind of underrated. You don't hear a lot about them. I've talked about this one in a few videos, but this is the 6th Sense Dogma. Very similar to that Repo Man. It's a smaller size, or the Vixen. That's really what they went for, but it is a lot easier to find. I really like the Dogma. They're a great walking topwater, great action. And this is my favorite size. I'm not exactly sure. It's about 100 size, I bet, 95 or 100. Still has 3 hooks. Walks really well, really, really underrated topwater you just don't hear tons about. Same with this one. This is the Evergreen Shower Blows. I mean, these are super, super popular. I mean, any of these pencil popper style baits are really popular, especially around the herring spawn, you know, anytime you get in schooling situations. But this is the little bitty one. This is the 77. So I really like this. again, for this time of year, post-spawn, when the fish aren't super aggressive, maybe they're guarding fry, it's a little bit more finesse, but it still has that great splashing action side to side. So I really like this 77. It's really little bait. You got to have a lighter braid. I'd actually throw this on even spinning tackle. It's a really light bait, but you can use it on a lighter bait cast rod with 20 or 30 pound braid as well. With poppers, I've talked about this in one of my other videos, but I really like this Duo Realis popper. Great popping action, really good looking colors. I like this one around the bluegill spawn. Looks really good. Added that trailer to it to just give it a little bit more flare, you know, just so it looks more like a bluegill, but it's really hard to beat a popper this time of year. And this is a good one. Another one from Duo that I really like is the Pencil 110. It's a pencil walking bait, so it looks like a lot of baits, but what I like about this is it has more of a vertical look as it's at rest. The Sammy's kind of like that as well, but just gives it a different look compared to a spook that's just kind of like a cork on the top of the water. This one will actually rest and sink a little bit as you pause it, and it will start walking. So a little bit different look than what everyone else is using, but really like this pencil, and it's loud too. Nice knocking noise, so if that's important to you, and it is important at certain times, drawing those fish from deep water, this is a really good one that, again, you don't hear a lot about. This one's relatively popular. This is the Berkley Chopo. I really like it. I'd say almost as much, if not more, than the original. I know it's a straight copy of the Whopper Plopper, but it does have a different sound. It's a really good plopping bait that has a lot of fans. I really like this bait. This is the 90 size, but they have them in all different sizes. Again, a different sound, but still getting that plopping action that you want when the fish are, you know, guarding fry again. You know, you're covering a lot of water. It's a really good bait for that. Last but not least is the I'm a Skimmer. Really like this bait as well. It's a really subtle walking action on the surface. This one, just for some reason, it gets bit. It doesn't look that aggressive. It doesn't do a terrible amount of, you know, side to side movement, but it's just really that subtle action gets bites. So the I'm a Skimmer, you know, it has a lot of fans, especially in the Carolinas, places like that, but I really like the I'm a Skimmer this time of year for the post spawn. So those are some of my favorite topwater baits that I'm putting in my box right now. Some you may not have heard of, but let me know, what are your favorite topwater baits? I'm always looking for more. Like I've said in other videos, I am a tackle junkie, always looking for more baits to check out. But this is what I'm putting in my box right now. Now I'm gonna go fishing. Thanks for watching.